Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel Just Be. In this video today I'll be looking at youth crime in the UK, and because there's so much to look at, and more importantly my opinion alone is not going to do enough, I'm going to split this video into two parts. And in the first part I'm just going to do a quick overview analysis of the factors that I want to look at. And the factors that I won't be covering today will be lack of parental guidance or bad parental guidance, and poverty, and for hell's sake, drill music. I think it's been overcovered and it's cliche, and don't get me wrong, it's probably true, but it's not what I'll be looking at today. I want to look at some other angles. So if we look at the statistics here, there's always been youth crime, but it's on the rise tremendously, and if that never got my attention, this did. This is my best friend's brother, 14 years old, shot in the back of the head with a sawn-off shotgun, and the shell actually exploded in the barrel of the gun, and so only the pellets were released, and obviously it's still done a lot of damage, but he's alright now. And it was just too close to home for me. Now, every time I see a flower site, I shudder, to be honest. And my issue is that we shouldn't wait until it becomes personal before we care about these young people dying on the streets. And on that note, let's talk about Operation Ops. To kick things off, I thought I'd look at the racism, prejudice and stereotype that these children face that are in gangs. I'm going to play a small clip from the opinion of a YouTuber that I used to really like. His name's Mark Collett, and after this video I refuse to watch another one of his videos if I'd known that he had an opinion like this. Anyway, please have a listen, have a watch.
Parliament, the Mayor of Britain's capital, the police chief and even the Prime Minister, all scratching their heads and trying to think of new and ever more convoluted reasons as to why crime is out of control, whilst at the same time ignoring the elephant in the room, which is of course multiculturalism. And instead of tackling the crimes in question, instead of targeting those carrying out these crimes, the government actually orders police officers to stop searching people from certain ethnic groups because to do so would be racist. But to make matters worse, the government uses these stabbings to pass idiotic laws that outlaw the sale of cutlery and further extend the reach of the nanny state. So let's face it, the truth is mass immigration, multiculturalism and political correctness have created an environment so toxic that the result is violence on an unprecedented level.
What absolute ignorance. We are not to blame, or solely to blame, for the rise in violent crime in the UK. If you look at this here, it clearly shows that it's happening all over the UK, and in places where the majority are white. So let's not even go down that multicultural route. It's deeper than that. So for every handful of these guys, you're getting a bag full of these guys. So yes, white people, you should also be concerned for your kids' attachments or gang affiliation and their safety. And speaking of kids that just got caught up in a bad crowd, I want to look at two case studies here. And the first one is a boy called Kelvinodunuyi. He was killed in Wood Green outside of a cinema not too far from the train station. And apparently he's from an affluent family, and they actually moved out of the area, but he was still going back to see his friends. And yeah, unfortunately he got caught up in some issue, some drive-by, and his life was taken. And the second case I want to look at is a girl named Tanesha from an area called Tottenham. And she was also killed in a drive-by shooting, and she was with her boyfriend, and if I'm correct, he was the target. And this is meant to have been the guy that was responsible for it, but again, another innocent child just caught up in a bad situation. So, when I look at these kids' stories, I think of all the other faces of the killed children on our streets. And what was their story? The bottom line is they're all innocent and just caught up in a really bad situation. So let's look at some of the factors that put these kids in this situation, starting with social media. There are many downsides to social media, and to add to that list is the impact it has on youth crime. If you look at this quote here, it says, "Gangs use social media mainly to post videos depicting their illegal behaviours, watch videos, threaten rival gangs and their members, display firearms and money from drug sales." Oh, yeah, social media can't be that good. Even the Metropolitan Police have chirped in with this song, saying that there's a surge in knife crime and social media is to blame. You know, they think that it glamorises violence and escalates situations. So, is Facebook gang affiliated? Is YouTube offering up a platform to these dangerous hooligans and they should be more responsible for their actions, etc., etc.? Let's quickly listen to what this radio station has to say on the matter.
See it like that. So I understand that, but like, I'll just be like, Heady one, you went to link a gal or whatever, and then whatever happened, didn't it? Yeah, with youths or whatever. Youths trying to get clout or whatever because they're filming them, you know what I mean? So it's like, that also can happen to anyone. Yeah. It could go left or right.
So it looks like it's just typical kids looking for clout. Nothing new there. Like if you look at this picture here, it's still just a kid looking for clout, but unfortunately they're also gang affiliated. It makes sense. You can't necessarily blame social media. I think it is what it is. And if we look at this statistic here, it clearly shows that a lot of crimes are actually solved through social media. The one issue I do have with social media clout chasing is that it has increased the opportunities for gang retaliation. And in my day, gang affiliation retaliation would have been a bit of a scrap, you know, a bit of a rumble in the jungle. But these kids are damn near the Grim Reaper, you know, they're out to kill, they're out for blood. You know, retaliation means death, and that's pretty scary. So let's look at this quick clip which discusses a different take on retaliation and the reasons for it.
I never, like, I reacted violently to a lot of situations that could have been resolved with just a good talking to, telling them about themselves. But I realised I kind of lost control of my emotions. We got into a lot of altercations and into a lot of trouble because we was finding it hard to deal with the aftermath of losing someone and actually seeing that. Even though someone might say, hold on, what's your friend Dan got to do with you robbing people with guns and stuff like that? It's because we're angry, we're hurting. At the time, it was just like, life is short and somebody can take it. And before I let you take me out, I'm going to take you out. Because I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
So as you can see, the grief of losing someone can also drive them to kill. Now, how are they able to kill? Who are giving these kids the guns, the drugs, everything to set them up to be a small little criminal? Who are the suppliers? And that's what I'm going to be looking at next. Aside from the parents, which I've already said I'm not going to talk about in this video, what other adults are around these kids, helping them, assisting them in what they're doing? Well, here we have this guy who proudly admits to providing these kids with guns, etc. It's just disgusting. Look at him in his lovely car. Ugh. And now I'm going to play a small clip of a lady that was caught selling guns to kids on Oxford Street in London. So yeah, watch this. Ahora se encuentra encantado. Now that was a lot of concealed weapons, my God. Anyway, moving on, let's look at some other adults who influence these kids, and that's the elders. The grown men who oversee these kids and send them on their way to go and commit crime and do whatever while they sit back and recoup. So if we look at this hierarchical system, on the bottom we have the newbies, the ones that have just been groomed and recruited and are still figuring it out, are still kids really in the mind, but they're out to prove themselves. And then next we have the ones that have proved themselves, still soldiers, still haven't really earned any rights yet, but they're working towards it. And then next we have the guys that are all scrapping and fighting to get to the next level, but are still very much actively involved in things on the streets. And then we have the next line, second from the top, and they're the ones that don't do anything. They just recoup, but they dictate. They're still very closely connected and interact with the levels below. And who knows who's on the top of that pyramid, honestly. In the next clip I'm going to play, you're going to see how the difference in age groups of these kids differentiates their views on their loyalty and responsibilities as a gang member.
Comes you in school. So how old are you right now? How old are you? 14. How old are you? 14. How old are you? 17. And you don't mind going to prison for 25 to life? You're backing your boy. You don't mind doing 25 to life? You don't mind doing 25 to life?
No, I won't do it.
You won't do it? So what would you do then? If someone stabbed your boy, what would you do?
I'll stab him, but I won't kill him.
You won't kill him?
To me it seems like there's just a lot of confusion and these kids just need some help. And do these kids need help? Moving on to my next point is this sodomy in gangs. And no, I'm not talking about the LGBT movement. I'm talking about boys that are classified as straight, that are caught up in homosexual acts. And the first case I'm going to look at is a guy called Shorts from London Fields. I'm only going to use examples from my area that I discovered recently. So here's a quick clip of one of his videos.
To the world. All of my niggas are active, most of my team on bill. I can rap about girls, I can rap about guns, I can rap about jail. I can rap about skills, I can rap about asses, I can rap about filth.
And now that you respect his gangster, look at this clip here. He's obviously gone and decided to hold a guy up with a gun, but also sodomizing a guy. I've obviously blocked it off because no one needs to see that. And then it gets worse. I haven't been able to find the clip, but his area decided to tell him off by making him strip. So it's like they retaliate to his actions by doing something gay. Anywho, the next case is a guy called Beans from an area called Pembury. Yeah, watch his clip.
Niggas like my style, so I flow with it. If you ain't come strapped with your gats, then go get it. I rob guys, I leave them in 4 stitches. Pay pop, I get the pipe to your mouth with no spitting.
Okay, so here we have another guy that's obviously a really serious dude and not to be played with, but in the meantime, between time, he was caught on a gay porn site, involved in a gangbang, where he was the victim and there was like a group of white guys and something along the lines of, shut your mouth, you're getting paid for this. I just don't know where to begin or end with this. It's one thing to accept that these kids are killing each other, but to see that they're being used as sexual objects, this is just so hard to comprehend. Now when I see guys with their tops off, I see it a different way. Sorry, 50 Cent. Just accept that these kids are having a hell of a hard time and they need our help. It's not just about gaining respect and money. It's about surviving. It's about dealing with the death of others, as well as trying to avoid being sodomized, apparently. Ugh. And on that note, I'm going to play a clip of a established gang member talking about the psychological effects of gang life.
Remember, people are not depressed, you know. Everyone goes through patches. We go through highs, we go through lows. We go through money, we go through being broke. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everyone goes through patches. Now, some people are sadder than others for much longer. Maybe I'm stronger in mind frame than he is. So he's going to be sadder for 3 more days than me. But what it is now, you go to the doctors and they will just say, yes, we are labeling you with this disease. You are diagnosed with this. Take this tablet. And now you're taking these tablets. It has messed you up completely. And then you want to label him a madman. It's crazy. You adapt to your surroundings. So it does affect people, innit? A lot of situations affect people. Some cases, a minority, it's been wrong place, wrong time, or it hasn't been premeditated. Maybe the fight broken out and then a bottle was broken and then someone was stabbed. Do you know what I'm saying?
You think people
It could
stab out of
No, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, some people do go out there and they want to go and kill people. Like, this is my motive. You're dying tonight. But what I'm saying to you is now, in other circumstances, it could have started from a fight.
What's going on there? We'll be pretty quick.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
What up, man? Saying more, man filming him in the block, innit? Yeah, alright, cool. Obviously, man, just saying more, move from the block, if anything, innit?
You get me, fam? Man's got problems out here. Man can't just have man posted like that. I don't know who it is. I know who you are now. It's cool. It's over.
Yeah, it's all crazy right now because I'm not even answering that question. I'm answering the question that just happened just now. There could have been a situation now, but I'm not that stupid, innit? But obviously, I felt like I was being disturbed. I'm not doing nothing incriminated. If I was doing something incriminating and a man told me, rah, you're doing something incriminating around there, you know, my people don't live around there, such and such, that's different, innit? I'm not doing nothing incriminating, so if anything, man's disturbing me.
To summarise this video, when you strip away all of the madness, what are you left with? You could be looking in the mirror right now. Just another human being. In a way, we actually glorify and glamorise gang culture. Because really, they're just a kid. A kid caught up in a situation that we are allowing to continue. That's something to think about. And look out for part 2. I'll be just purely showing clips just to further add to the situation and to get more opinions from others aside from myself, because again, I feel like there's a lot to learn and I don't know where to begin with helping these kids. But yeah, if we work together, who knows? Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Just Be. Please subscribe, like if you like, click the bell for more videos, and please comment, because what you have to say is so important with what I'm trying to do here, and you will inspire my future videos, trust me. And follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Gmail, and let's keep this conversation flowing. Peace.